Okay, so several months ago, I think it was the day after Sir Sean Connery passed away, I did a reaction video. I watched Darby O'Gill and The Little People for the first time, and I kind of liked it. You know, it was kind of fun, and it was interesting to see. It was interesting to see Sean Connery in a role that he did before he became James Bond, and it was interesting to see that there were certainly parts of Bond in his character in that Disney film. When I made that video, I did say that there was going to be a second video, and there is. It's several months later, but you know, I've been surprisingly busy planning magic shows and other videos for the coming year and so on. Finally managed to get round to it. Now the thing is, two things. Well, one thing, but to do with two things. When I originally made that Darby O'Gill video, I had one other film in mind, which I'm still going to do. But the thing is, I have since been talking to some people who have been watching my videos, and they have actually suggested another Sean Connery film, which I kind of thought to myself, hang on, I haven't seen that either. And that might be interesting to watch, because the original film that I had in mind, which I'm still going to do, they're both quite different. So I thought it would be interesting. So I was trying to decide which one I should watch, whether I should watch this film or the other film that has now been suggested to me. I couldn't decide because, as I say, they are quite different, and it would be interesting for me to watch for both. So in the end, I thought to myself, let's just do both. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to still watch the film that I had in mind, the other film I had in mind, but I'm also going to watch this film. This one is a film that I have never seen. I've heard about it, and I know what it's basically about, but I don't know anything about the plot. I don't know anything about the characters. I don't know who's the good guy or the bad guy. I don't know, and I've nothing at all. And this film I'm going to watch, starring Sir Sean Connery, is The Hunt for Red October. Now, as I say, other than the fact that I know it stars Sean Connery and one of the Baldwins, is it Alec Baldwin that's in this? I know it's to do with a submarine, and I know it's to do with the Navy, and it's a naval genre. But other than that, I have no idea what this film is about. I've never seen it. I don't think I've even seen a clip of this film. So when it was suggested to me, I thought to myself, that might be interesting for me to watch. So here we go. This is the first time that I've seen The Hunt for Red October, starring the late Sir Sean Connery. Let's do it. Ah, there he is. Sir Sean Connery. Rest his soul. Wow. That's a big submarine, that's what that is. Oh, it's a John McTiernan film. He's a good director. Die Hard, Thomas Crown. Joss Ackland, I like him, good actor. Tim Curry! You can't go wrong with Tim Curry. Love Tim Curry. Sam Neill. I'm liking the sound of this cast. STELLAN, SKARSGÅRD. I don't know if you can hear this because I might tone it down for copyright, but the music is pretty nice.
You know, if you did try and get some sleep, the flight will go a lot faster.
I can never sleep on a plane. Turbulence.
Yeah, I'm the same. I can never sleep on planes.
Turbulence. Solar radiation heats the Earth's crust. Warm air rises cool.
I tried sleeping to America one time and I couldn't.
Well, try to get some sleep anyway.
I'm loving the polo neck. Looks like it's choking him. Oh, it's a Tom Clancy novel. I didn't know that either. I usually like his stuff. I like the games that are based on his stuff, Splinter Cell and Rainbow Six and all that.
Who's Stanley?
Stanley's a bear.
Of course he is.
What's important enough to get you on a plane in the middle of the night?
It's like the beginning of Star Wars.
Rhythmic processing systems. Give it a week and you'll be teaching at Caltech. So, like,
Look at all this 80s tech.
you have labored to.
I do miss it.
Jones here. What do I do? I got it.
What do I do?
Con sonar, new contact bearing 097. Designate
Is it his first day or something? He doesn't know what to do on a submarine?
Yeah, no, what do you got, Jones?
Oh, I could never live a life on a submarine. Small and cramped with lots of people. No, thank you. I'm loving the 80s tech though. Look at all these lights and flashy blips and screens and colours.
And the seventh angel poured forth his bowl into the air, and a voice cried out from heaven, saying, "It is done."
That was a very interesting transition, where the camera zoomed into his mouth.
You wrote and underlined these passages.
If that's what I thought it was supposed to be, then that was a very clever way of doing it. Okay, it's going down, it's going down. Okay, is he the bad guy in this?
Dr. Petrov, report to my cabin immediately. There's been a dreadful accident.
Bring a fire extinguisher.
Now, those are too big to be torpedo tubes.
Doors.
Would you launch an ICBM horizontally?
Sure. What would you want?
Oh,
They're symmetrical.
I see.
Right down the long axis of the sub.
How about a towed sonar array?
This could be a caterpillar.
A what?
What?
Caterpillar drive. Magneto-hydrodynamic propulsion. You follow?
No.
It's like a jet engine for the water.
There he is.
Oh, yes. It's just to die from something as petty.
What is it about Tim Curry?
You'll feel better when we put in.
Put in?
Put in?
To base, Captain. We cannot go on without a political officer.
Doctor, this is a combat vessel of the Soviet Navy. Your name?
Cook's assistant, Loganov, sir.
I will try to forget your comments when I present my report.
Thank you, sir.
Oh, Tim Curry's going to die in this film. Gut feeling.
Steady on 310.
What are you up to, Sir Sean? I'm kind of surprised if he's the bad guy, because I really did think he was the good guy in this. He's like, he seems to be like corrupt or something.
But today, the game is different. We have the advantage.
It reminds me of the heady days of Sputnik and Yuri Gagarin, when the world trembled
Yuri
at the sound
Gagarin.
of our rockets.
Diving command. Engage Caterpillar and secure main engines.
Mr. Sulu, prepare to engage thrusters.
We sail into history.
I wasn't finished. It's not very professional to just burst into song, you know, when your captain is trying to give commands. Just saying. I wouldn't do that.
1 minute he was steady, 4,000 yards up.
So
then he was gone.
they've disappeared off the sonar because of this new kind of
Heard what?
impeller engine thing that they've got going on. Is that right? Because the noise is silent. That's what the guy just said.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I hope we had a lovely evening.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Not much of a conversationalist.
There's a letter there from Marco Ramius.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
It is designed to approach by stealth and to shower its target with multiple independent warheads with little or no warning before impact.
Damn.
Goddamn things made to start a war.
Proceed, Mr.
I was just thinking that.
Son of a bitch!
What?
You wish to add something to our discussion, Dr. Ryan?
He has no children, no ties to leave behind.
Yeah.
And today is the first anniversary of his wife's death.
Oh, come on. You're just an analyst. What can you possibly know what goes on in this mind?
I know Ramius, General.
Do you have the figures for the latest batch of radiation tests? No? No. Perhaps you could bring the preceding set as well.
Oh yeah, he's dying. Tim Curry's dying. I'm
Thank you, Doctor.
fairly sure that he's going to meet his end at some point in this film.
My own began the day I was handed the blueprints for this ship. A ship which had but one use.
Aren't they supposed to call submarines boats?
That I alone must carry the burden for.
I think I heard that somewhere.
Captain?
It's a very slow-moving film. I don't mean that in a bad way. I'm just referring to the pace of it. USS Enterprise. Ironic, I made a Star Trek reference earlier. Of course, there has to be a USS Enterprise, doesn't there? Of course there does. There's a hint of sci-fi about this, it seems. I don't know, maybe I'll explain, I'll talk about that afterwards, but...
We're in the lane. Next leg, 30.
I'm getting a touch of sci-fi surrealism about it. I don't know. I'll talk about it later.
How long will it take to fix?
I gotta find out what's wrong.
I'm giving it all she's got, Captain. It's fairly obvious where Star Trek got its inspiration from, isn't it?
Captain, we will not be silent.
That's basically what Star Trek is. It's this.
Engage the propellers.
It's this kind of thing in space. That's basically it.
Naval activities.
Oh yes, I forgot Joss Ackland. I like this guy.
Never was a sailor.
Mr. Ambassador.
Really good actor, Joss Ackland.
Naval vessels operating in the North Atlantic right now.
Ooh, that was a bit of a strange effect.
Aircraft on computer guidance.
That didn't quite fit.
You are authorized to launch the weapon.
How long to the turn of the massive?
2 minutes, 9 seconds.
We have no room to maneuver in these canyons, Captain. If the countermeasure doesn't work...
Shut up!
Shut up. When he says shut up, you shut up.
Torpedo has lost
Love
contact.
that voice.
Massive approach.
What a voice. Oh. Nicely done. Not sure how possible that would be in real life, which is where I'm getting the sci-fi vibe. But
Why? It was only a matter of time before an overload shut down the whole caterpillar.
What are you saying?
Whoever did this knew
sabotage.
the caterpillar in a way not easy to find.
Captain, we have a saboteur on board.
oh, I wonder who it could be. Gee, let me think. I know who I think it is, unless I'm supposed to think that's who it is. If it's a double bluff, I'll be very intrigued. Because it's very obvious who it is, but maybe that's the double bluff, that it's obvious. We shall see.
I know how he's gonna get the crew off the sub, Admiral.
Not now, Jack.
Yankee 1 starbase, Yankee 1 starbase. Say again, status over.
Wait, that was a vital piece of information and he says not now?
Yankee 1, vector 270, speed is Buster, over.
Hounds to the
I love that 80s. That 80s stuff, it's amazing. 80s tech. Oh. We're smelling something. Sam Neill's a very curious character in this.
Sonar con eye.
If there is a double bluff going on, then I have a feeling it might, the heads might turn to his direction, but we shall see. I don't really care about the main plot now. I just want to know if I'm right about the saboteur. That's what I want to. That's what I'm excited about now. Good bit of flying going on here.
Commander, remember, if for any reason I gotta bring you back up, I'm gonna shake the wire. When you look up at me, I'm gonna give you a thumbs up like this. Remember,
My daddy did this once. Well, sort of. He didn't do it at sea, but he was winched up in a Sea King helicopter for a charity event. So my dad has actually done what Alec Baldwin is doing here.
Very well, Dallas. We are history.
Well, that could have gone better. Permission to come aboard, sir?
How do you do, Captain? It's a pleasure to be aboard.
Captain, radio. We're receiving flash traffic on the VLF.
I know what he's intending to do, Connery I mean, but I'm not clear on what he intends to do afterwards.
The sub we're after is called the Red October. She's under the command of a man named Ramius. And there's the possibility that he and a good portion of his crew are attempting to defect.
Yeah, I know that. Got that. This is intriguing. I'll admit it took me a little while to get into it, but I am interested to see where this is going, particularly with the saboteur. But I get the feeling there's more to it than what we're being presented with, unless I'm wrong about that.
Captain, I have to talk to you.
No. Tommy, make your depth.
They keep telling him that.
20 degrees down angle.
Diving officer, make your depth.
Captain, I have vital information. Not now.
700.
Is this clever camera work, or is the set actually tilting in some way? That would be interesting to find out.
Sonar con.
It looks like camera work.
Very faint, sir. Hold on.
Lock the firing solution into the computer. Do not open the doors.
What?
Hi, Captain.
What are we doing?
Lock solution into computer.
What are we doing, guys?
Hold on.
What is he up to?
Hold popping. Target's coming shallow.
He is toying something. He's toying with them here.
He wants to go up and take a peek. We'll play along.
I have a suspicion that's what he wants you to do. What's he playing at here? What's the real game? There's something else.
Weapons status. Weapons are armed.
Getting kinda bleak.
Yards.
This is gonna make one hell of a bang.
400 yards.
He's gonna blow them up.
300 yards.
He's gonna blow it up.
Torpedo is detonated.
No.
Oh.
He's defecting.
Yeah, we know, you keep saying that. Morning. Well. Explanation time. Don't forget that. It's always about the smoking in the end, isn't it?
Hey, I think somebody just shot a torpedo at us.
Oh shit, fuck, we get the hell out of here.
Wait, where am I?
Origin, fire control. You're right.
Control, you're fired.
Sit here. Increase the flank.
Increase the flank. How?
That knob, turn right, full.
Oh. Oh dear. Good shot.
Thank you.
But who was that firing? Aren't we going to find out?
Don't just stand there,
What was that about? I'm a bit confused now.
Yes, sir. Get your butt over here.
Captain, I cannot go any faster.
We must get
I'm giving her everything she's got, Cap. I said that earlier, didn't I? Who is this? It is him, isn't it? It is who I thought it was, right? This saboteur. Okay. Showdown time. It's one hell of a set.
Ryan, some things in here don't react well to bullets.
Yeah. Like me. I don't react well to bullets.
Got him. Match bearing is on fire.
They're too close.
Oh,
Don't argue with
go
me.
away, you sneering guy.
Another torpedo, Captain.
There's always this one guy who wants to just blow things up regardless, right?
Full rudder. He's off in your bow planes.
Torpedo is an acquisition. Range 500 yards in closing. You've done it.
Some of the 80s effects are a little bit 80s. Forgivable.
On the roof.
Who is this guy? I don't think it's who I thought it was, but...
Goddamn cook. Estafeta pecoya.
Very good. Very good. Didn't see that coming. I thought it was going to be curry from the beginning, but I was wrong. And Curry's not dead, so I was wrong about that too, I'm glad to say.
Hard part about playing chicken is knowing when to flinch.
Torpedo! Get ahead!
You arrogant ass. You've killed us.
Bye. Yeah, and stay out. He had that coming. That character, SKARSGÅRD's character, never bothered me too much. He was just, as I said just now, he was just the stereotypical annoying guy who wanted to blow things up. So.
Given the depth of the water and the fact that the wreckage is spread out over such a wide area.
So he wasn't really the bad guy after all.
The last place that satellites will ever look.
There is one question you haven't asked me yet. Why?
Why? Yeah, I was going to say, yeah.
Well, I figured you would tell me when you were ready.
Oh, he's sleeping. So, okay, that was the Hunt for Red October. Very interesting film, very interesting story, as with most Tom Clancy stories. Very dark and bleak, twisty and turny, and very political as well. I wasn't understanding much for the political side of things, but I never do. That's just me. But I still found myself, particularly towards the third act, and maybe towards the last half of the film, I did find myself engaging a lot more. As I said earlier, I wasn't really getting into it much to begin with. It was kind of slow, but the second half of the film I certainly was more engaged than the first. Particularly regarding who the saboteur was, I thought it was going to be Curry. Maybe that was a bit too obvious. But I did think, I was 85% sure that he was going to end up dead at some point, particularly seeing Connery kill that guy at the beginning. But I was wrong, I'm glad to say, and who would want to see Curry killed off? Not me. But a great twist with the cook, because I didn't see that coming at all. I did get to a point, I did mention that if it wasn't going to be Curry, then I figured it was going to be a good double bluff and someone else was going to be the saboteur. I thought it was going to be Sam Neill if it wasn't going to be Curry. Then of course Sam Neill ends up dead again, which I wasn't seeing, which I didn't see coming. This is all very good Tom Clancy stuff. You don't see this sort of stuff coming. I'm kind of familiar with Tom Clancy, not so much the novels, but I am familiar with Tom Clancy's storytelling when it comes to games and films like this and so on. So I do understand how Tom Clancy tells a story, and this demonstrates it very well. There's lots of twists and things that you don't really see coming, even though you might think you do. So I didn't think for 1 second it was going to be the cook that was the saboteur, although maybe I should have done, because you see him for like 30 seconds at the beginning and then that's it. It's kind of like Scooby-Doo, you know, where you, at the beginning when the character's introduced to the people, you just see one insignificant person they're introduced to, and you see them for like 10 seconds and then you don't see them again until they're revealed to be the monster at the end. Kind of similar thing. You kind of think to yourself, oh damn, I should have seen that coming. But anyway, that was very good. Great performances from Connery, of course, a very interesting character, kind of mysterious. I liked the idea, the way that you can tell that he was planning something, but you don't really get what he's thinking. I kind of think the crew on board the submarine were thinking similar things towards that character. Like, what the hell is this guy thinking? What the hell is this guy planning? And to what end? So I kind of like that. That was very good. Alec Baldwin's performance, very good, actually. Ryan is a character that would become kind of familiar in Tom Clancy stories. I think this was the first one, wasn't it? The Hunt for Red October, that's what I've heard. The first Jack Ryan story. And yeah, I think he gives a good performance. He's very focused and professional character. Yeah, great performance, and other performances were good. As I say, apart from STELLAN SKARSGÅRD, I thought his character just seemed to be the stereotypical, guy who just wants to blow things up. So I wasn't really surprised or saddened by his demise at the end. There's always that one guy dressed in black with the furrowed brow who just wants to kill, and just, and as a kid I might have been interested in that kind of character, but that doesn't really impress me nowadays. But maybe that's just me. But as I said, he was forgettable because, as I said earlier, when he came back into the frame, I was like, oh yeah, I forgot about him. So he was kind of forgettable. But other characters are good, if not maybe a little brief. James Earl Jones was kind of brief. You kind of forget who he was or what he did. I know he was a CIA guy, but I briefly I had to keep reminding myself in my head who he was and what he was doing there and so on. So it was okay, but we could have seen maybe a little bit more of some of the characters, James Earl Jones being one of them. I also kept forgetting about Joss Ackland's character, things like that. So some things regarding the characters were a little bit, they could have been, I just felt like I'm speaking for myself, of course, but I just felt like we, the audience, could have been reminded a bit better. It could have been made clearer about who these characters, who these guys were, what they were doing there, what their what their intentions were, what they wanted, and that sort of thing. In other words, what I'm saying is it kind of sticks with Baldwin and Connery maybe a bit too much. Do I know what I mean by that? I think I know what I mean by that. Anyway, McTiernan's directing. I like John McTiernan. He's a good actor. He is a good director, rather, and he's done some amazing things. Of course, the two that come to mind, two favourites. Die Hard, of course. Die Hard's an amazing film, and he directed with a vengeance too, didn't he? The third one, which is again brilliant. And another one that I like is the remake of the Thomas Crown Affair with Pierce Brosnan. That too is very good. Yeah, so I think McTiernan's directing is good in this film. The camera work is also very good. The angles are good for this kind of film. It's a thriller film, so of course the camera angles kind of add to that. Lighting in a submarine, what you're expecting, of course, it's going to be dark and there's going to be lots of lights and things like that. I loved, by the way, it's a 1990 film, but it still had the kind of 80s tech going on, which I love. I love the 80s style technology with the lighting and the map work and the computer systems that they had back then. I love all of that. It's pure nostalgia for me. So the sets and the interiors and the lighting and the camera, it all worked quite well, actually. Maybe a few of the effects, I guess you can forgive the fact that it was 1990 or 1980 something when they were filming it. So that some of the effects, a little bit hit and miss. Forgive the pun, hit and miss submarines. But yeah, there are some backdrop effects that didn't quite work, that well. Some green screen, blue screen effects not working quite well. Bit like this, really. But generally quite good. I don't think, I'm not going to go as far as saying it was like one of the best, Connery films or one of the best films I've seen. Again, that's partially down to me as well, because I don't really get this kind of film. I don't really watch this kind of film much. I don't really like films to do with the Navy or ships or submarines, or I don't really click with that kind of genre, if that kind of makes sense. The only other submarine film that I have seen, which I kind of like, is Down Periscope. But that's a comedy, and it's got actors in it that I just love to watch, like Kelsey Grammer. So I've seen that one and I like it because it's a comedy. And because it's a comedy, it doesn't have to be taken that seriously. But with serious films like this, it's not generally my cup of tea. So I don't really watch this. But it was good. I found myself engaged, as I say, mostly with the second half, but mostly because I wanted to find out who the saboteur was. That was the bit that I personally was focused on more than Connery's than Sean Connery's plan for what he was trying to do. Other than that, I thought it was a good enough film. I would recommend it to anyone who likes a good Tom Clancy thriller. If you haven't seen it and you like a bit of Tom Clancy, if you like a bit of Splinter Cell, Rainbow Six, or a good Tom Clancy novel. As I say, I don't know too much about the novels, but I am familiar with his storytelling and I do like it for the most part. And I think I'm familiar enough to recommend this film if you like a good Tom Clancy. That's pretty much all I have to say. So that was The Hunt for Red October with the dear departed Sir Sean Connery. And that was the film that was suggested to me. I'm glad I've seen it. I don't regret seeing it at all. It's always good watching Sir Sean at work. So, thanks for watching. And if you have any other suggestions for me for Connery or any other kind of film, let me know in the comments. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe. And I'll see you for the next Connery film, which I was going to watch from the start. So what's it going to be? Meet me there. Bye.